The stranger who knocks at midnight. It was a pitch-black night in Dunbridge, a sleepy village tucked between misty moors. Rain hissed against the window of Elsie Green's old cottage. She sat by the flickering fire, knitting, her only companion the steady tick of the grandfather clock. Elsie's days were quiet, her evenings lonelier since her husband's passing. She would sometimes picture him, a comforting presence near the hearth. That night, however, a tense unease seemed to coil in the darkness. A storm rattled the windows, and the air had that strange, metallic scent that arrived with thunder. The clock began to chime midnight. Just as the last bell faded, someone knocked at Elsie's door. 3 slow, resonant knocks. They echoed through the house, unnatural and oddly hollow. The villagers often traded tales of ghosts and travelers lost to the bog, but no one ever spoke of visitors so late. Heart-thumping, Elsie wrapped her shawl tighter and approached the door. "Who's there?" she called, her voice firmer than she felt. No answer, only the wind, keening through the cracks in the window. She peered through the peephole. Nothing but darkness and swirling rain. The fire behind her seemed to sputter and shrink from the door. Another 3 knocks, this time slower, as if the stranger on the other side had all the time in the world. Something compelled her, a mix of dread and strange curiosity. She unlatched the heavy bolt. The door creaked open. There, at the edge of the flickering porch light, stood a man. He was tall and pale, dressed in a soaked, old-fashioned coat and battered hat. His eyes were too bright, reflecting firelight as if he had caught some of it inside. But his smile was too wide, too knowing. "Good evening, Elsie," he whispered, his voice impossibly smooth, as if it slid between the raindrops. "How do you know my name?" she stammered. His presence chilled the warm air of the cottage, and she noticed the fire had all but died, coals smoldering feebly. "May I come in? I promise I bring no harm, only answers," he said. His shadow stretched across the threshold, impossibly long. Despite her terror, Elsie stepped back. The man entered, dripping water that left no puddles on the floor. He carried no bag, yet the air around him crackled with an electric promise. "People dream of second chances, Elsie," the stranger said, voice like a midnight bell. "Tonight you must choose. Relive the moment you lost, or let me move on." Elsie trembled. The memories of her husband's last night surged. A bitter fight, words unspoken. Deep in her chest, sorrow bloomed. "If I could, just one more moment, would I remember afterward?" The stranger shook his head, pity flickering in his 2 bright eyes. "No. You will return to now, memories faded, but a heart unburdened." For a minute, longing warred with fear. At last she nodded. The stranger smiled, and the world melted away. She was back, by the fire, her husband's voice gentle and forgiving.